news this morning regarding Reece Walsh. We believe that he has agreed to terms, a handshake deal with the Broncos on a pretty big extension. Brenny, what can you tell us?
OK, so on November 1, he was free to negotiate with other clubs because the Broncos hadn't locked him down beyond next season. Now, next season is the final year of his current deal, and he's down to be paid $600,000 for season 2025, which is a bargain basement price for a player of his calibre, but it was an existing longer deal that was in place from when he came back from the Warriors. Now, he hasn't signed on the dotted line, but his side and the Broncos have agreed to terms to an extension of 4 years, so next year plus the following 4 seasons. The extension is worth 4.4. The total deal over 5 years is worth $5 million. Now, at the end of the deal, he'll be paid over $1 million. Maybe the $600,000 next year goes to $800,000 or $900,000, however they structure it. But for all intents and purposes, he's $1 million a year player now on 5 years, and the whole deal over those years is worth $5 million.
What do we think of that price for Reece Walsh?
It's a steal. An absolute steal.
Commercially,
if he stays on the field,
be that value easy.
Yeah, kids these days don't necessarily follow teams; they follow players. And if you think the Broncos, who comes to mind? Reece
Walsh.
Yeah.
He's just got to now add the value on the field. He needs to get that satisfaction, and that's what that'll end up making him the great that we all think he can be. But off the field, it's from a Broncos point of view, it's bargain.
He had a difficult year this year, and Billy saw it firsthand, obviously, as the Origin coach. He absolutely destroys the competition in 2023, and in 2024, he was a bit of a marked man, and it didn't come to him as...
Attention and pats on the back, and everywhere you go, people are recognising you, it can wear you down. And I think it'll wear him down. He's still only a young fella. He'll learn from it.
Yeah, he's 22.
He'll be better next
22 years old. He's played 75 NRL games. The next 125 NRL games will be with the Broncos. That will be the best period of his career in the next 100 or so games, 100, 150 games. So I think it's a great deal for the Broncos. I work closely with Reece. He's got a great work ethic. He's a very respectful young man. He's got a perception out there that he's a bit of a larrikin and he likes the limelight, but he works really hard and he loves the game of footy. The great thing about the Broncos is you've got this young star that wants to be a Bronco. Like you could imagine how many clubs out there that would love Reece Walsh to want to be at their club. And I think it's a great signing. I think it's really good for Reece too. He's close to his family. He's settled in Brisbane. He could have got another 200, 300 grand a year somewhere else, but he wants to play for the Broncos. So I think it's a good deal all round for everyone.
So if you look at Reece Walsh, so he's their marquee player. If he's got a great work ethic and, he loves his footy, why aren't the Broncos doing better? Why aren't all those other players following what Reece is doing? And when you watch them this year, they were sloppy. They were, they were careless. Yeah, I know,
but the best team on the field consistently.
You can make it like, you can make a lot of excuses.
Yeah, I know that.
I don't think there's any one thing. I think there's an accumulated of events that have happened to the Broncos. That they lost 3 stars. They lost Capewell, Flegler and Farnworth. I think that is understated. That really hurt them. Then they had a few injuries that they didn't handle as good as the Panthers and the Storm and the bigger clubs that have the depth in their roster. So there's been a number of things that have happened. They didn't get the pre-season that they have had because they went all the way to the grand final, and then they probably didn't handle the grand final loss to the best of their ability. So there are a number of things that happened to them this year that have all of a sudden found themselves in the position that they're in.
This year, NRL on 9 is your one-stop shop for all footy.
That's right, Freddie. Not about the highlights, action, 7 days a week.
Billy and Gus podcast, get that on your drive on the way home. Immortal Behaviour, grab a seat on the couch for that. And of course, my favourite, Freddie in the Own.
The best footy brains, the biggest games.
Don't trust the algorithm, subscribe to NRL on 9 and get all your entertainment there.